up into the first topic, and that's going to be the boat report. The Chargers hold off Raiders, win 24-17. Now 2-2 on the season, and now 1-0 in the division as well. Too, Khalil Mack had himself a game yesterday. Khalil Mack wound up getting 6 sacks yesterday, 2 forced fumbles, and it made a big difference in the game. But once again, the defense did let down the Chargers. You know what I mean? Where to the point to where pretty much the game got way too close for call. The Chargers were able to ring up a 24-7 lead, and then they literally just got grounded right after that. And what happened was is that they gave up 10 unanswered, but luckily enough for the Chargers that they were able to take care of their business in the final possession for the Raiders, getting a pick at the end zone. And that was pretty huge. That was pretty big. But as usual, you will always have some soldiers that are going to be casualties. And somewhat, it was Justin Herbert yesterday who had to sit out most of the second half because of a finger injury, and he actually broke his finger, but it's on his non-throwing hand. So it shouldn't be an issue as the Chargers are going into their bye week this week as well, too. So there's a lot of things that work out for the Chargers moving forward. But when you break down the game, you just saw a lot of good things coming from a lot of different places for the Chargers. But you knew this was going to happen because the Raiders are one of the more middling defense in the league. I'm not going to say they're one of the worst defenses in the league, but they are very middling. But yesterday, 7 sacks was huge for this team. That's one thing that they've been really good at is getting to the quarterback this year. Their biggest problem is getting off the field. But yesterday, they were able to get off the field on third down, but they still were pretty bad on fourth down. 100% for the Raiders yesterday, who went 3 for 3 and on fourth down. But they only went 1 for 11 on third downs, and that's an improvement from what you've been seeing the last few weeks with the Chargers. Now, the Raiders did have more first downs than the Chargers with 22-16. So that's one thing where I said you cannot say the Raiders have that bad of a defense. It's a middling defense. And they actually kind of shut down Justin Herbert yesterday, who had a fast, hot start to the game, but wound up kind of cooling off. And like I said before, he did get hurt. He threw for 167 yards yesterday. He went 13 for 24, and he had 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and was sacked twice. Now, Kelly had himself a really good game yesterday with 65 yards on 17 carries. And then Darius Davis was used as a specialty back somewhat, slash back, because he is a wide receiver as well. He's a wide receiver, but it's in this new diminutive form where you can throw little guys like him in the backfield at running back too to get you some yards from that spot as well. He did fairly well yesterday. He actually had himself 51 yards, but it was one big run that he did have yesterday that was 51 yards. So pretty much what happened was that the next few runs he had, he just kind of got stagnant with it. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But Josh Palmer had himself a pretty good game yesterday, filling in for Mike Williams. Now he will be the other starting receiver. He was able to lead all receivers yesterday with 77 yards, but he only caught 3 passes yesterday, but he was targeted 8 times as well, too. So he's going to be a main target for Herbert moving forward. And also he did catch the actual pass that did put the game out of reach for the Raiders as well, too. That pretty much sealed the deal there in the final minutes. I think it was a 51-yard catch as well, too. It was absolutely tremendous. And it was just a very good game, but I just can't get over Khalil Mack having 6 sacks yesterday. That just was just wow. You know what I mean? That's just awesome. That he was able to do that against the Raiders, a team that, couldn't come up with a few $1 million to keep him as their signature defensive player. He moved on to Chicago, won defensive player of the year there. And then, you know what? I have been really hard on Khalil Mack all year long, saying that he wasn't doing much. He was just pretty much just, getting a big paycheck and all that good stuff. But you know what Khalil Mack has done? Khalil Mack pretty much took care of whatever problems he was having throughout the first 3 games that he was a part of for the Chargers. 0 sacks, and he only had at that point he only had about 8 tackles as well too, about 9 tackles going into the game. So you was like, he got to do something, right? And then he does it. He gets 6 sacks on his own and just an absolute incredible performance, Hall of Fame worthy type stuff. And just keeping it moving for the Chargers and putting the Chargers in the right position right now. They find themselves 2-2, right where they want to be at. And when they get back off of their bye, they will have Dallas and they will have Kansas City back to back. They'll have a home game against Dallas, and then they'll travel with Kansas City. That should be huge for them as well, too. And they find themselves sitting in second place, where most had them at as well. But they also have one division win, and that's something that they have as an advantage over the Chiefs. So with that, that's going to be a wrap on the Bolt Report for today. But there's a lot of good things going on right now with the Chargers. So here we are. It's a team that has now gotten to 500 and easily could have been 4-0 right now. The Chargers are their own worst enemy, and everybody knows that. So let's move forward and getting to the NFL Week 4